Hi everybody, I'm Captain Floofers, and welcome to Goemon's Great Adventure. Um, and I'm going to be playing this. Um, let's just look at the attract mode, I guess, a little bit. Um, so obviously not live streaming or anything, just doing another Let's Play. I've gone over this in the update video. I'm not going to go over it 100% again. I may mention it here and there during the playthrough. Um, but essentially, one of the things that I wanted to do. Um, was to play this on stream, and I'm not streaming now, but I'm going to be doing it. So I'm going to be doing it here. The original plan was to actually do some sort of wacky New Year's Eve sort of thing, possibly with alcohol involved. But I decided, you know what? Um, I'm not going to do that um, because I actually want to have a I say I wanted to have a New Year's Day that wasn't like all spent hungover, but it's not New Year's Eve for me right now. As of this recording, it's the 30th. But anyway, the meaning for this playthrough. So, um, when the plan was to go back to live streaming, I was going to do some stuff in December, and then I was going to have two theme months: Goemonuary, which I did participate in. Uh, 2 Januaries ago. It was something that my pal Jangle Storm came up with, and I don't know if he came up with it or if somebody else did, but I played Mystical Ninja Star and Goemon on stream on Twitch for that. And I figured, what a good way what thing to do on Twitch, just go back to that. And since I'm not on Twitch, I'm instead playing it on here. And I figured instead of doing some extravagant like New Year's Eve thing, let's start the year off right. This is going up on New Year's Day, so this is going to be the first part of Goemon's Great Adventure, and then every Sunday from there, I'll have for January at least, I'll have the game here. Now my goal is to at the very least clear the game. I've technically cleared the game before a long time ago, but I used a Game Shark and I think I might have mentioned this in past gameplay videos for this. Um, let's go to the file select screen here just to change up the music a bit. Um, my intention is to try to at least beat the game, possibly 100% it after I'm done with that. I am going to be playing this all through January, and then after that, I have another theme month planned for February around Astro Rabby, which we'll get into when we get into that. But if for any reason I don't clear this game during January, I will put it on hold and then pick it back up in March. That's basically the thing. So, for those of you who aren't aware about this, this is Goemon's Great Adventure. This was the second game to be in the Goemon series, or the Ganbare Goemon series, Mystical Ninja series, whatever you want to call it, to be released on the Nintendo 64. And I'd show you like the intro video and stuff, but crimes were committed during the localization, and they just took that shit out. In fact, a lot of the voice acting is taken out. I do have a Rumble Pack, but I don't have any batteries for it, so it's not going to do me much good. I'll just go ahead and play as Goemon. And now that I've actually played other games in the series, some of this stuff makes a little bit more sense to me, especially from Ganbare Goemon 3, because there were some things from that game that were kind of split up into the two N64 games, I guess. There were a lot of gameplay style. The gameplay style was more along the lines of an action adventure kind of run around sort of thing, rather than the games before it, which were all side scrollers. This is a side scroller, but Ganbare Goemon 3 was not. And I think that Mystical Ninja Star and Goemon, which was the first game on the N64, kind of took from that. But there are characters in this game that were also in Ganbare Goemon 3, and their presence here makes a little bit more sense to me, since they reference that they know these characters from before. So I'm like, well, that's obviously games that we didn't get, and they were. As of this recording, only 5 games in this series have ever been released. there was Mystical Ninja Star, Legend of the Mystical Ninja. I'm sorry, for the Super Nintendo, which is the first Super Famicom game. And then like none of the other Super Famicom games came out over here. And then we got Mystical Ninja starring Goemon on the N64, and this one, both the N64 games, and then one of the Game Boy games, which was also over here called Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. And it's the Game Boy game that nobody likes because it's bad. I played it; it is bad. And the fifth game to have been released over here is actually the very first game in the series called Mr. Goemon. It's an arcade game that was released as part of the Arcade Archives, and is available on PS4 and Switch. But I think the last time I played this, that wasn't a thing. At least the US release wasn't. I'm sorry I've been talking over this, but Sister Bismaru here is actually one of the main villains from Ganbare Goemon 3. And she is indeed a ghost because I do believe she died, but she died in the future. So I don't know why they were able to take her from the ghost world with the ghost summoning machine if she's from the future. But it's a video game series. Like this is Edo era Japan, and they know who Marilyn Monroe and James Dean are, and that's not a mistranslation. They're actually saying Marilyn Monroe and James Dean in the Japanese speech. But this sort of plot does lead to some very interesting and I mean, at least for the Goemon game, from the ones that I played, a fairly inventive and environments that we go through. I mean, like the first world is the basic kind of stuff that we would normally see, and to a lesser extent, also the second world. But then from the third world and onward, we're going into like, the underworld, and then the world of the yokai and stuff like that. So it's a little bit more original, I guess you could say. Despite the fact that I'm not doing a drinking game or anything, I still have an adult beverage here, just to help me chill. I got off work not too long ago, like a couple hours ago, and I'm ready to enjoy my 3-day weekend. So, essentially, the plan I have for this is to first off beat the game, just kind of beat the game. I'm not going to go for 100% at first. And I'm going to focus on getting the passes from clearing levels first, and then if I need more, then I'll go back to the towns and do side quests. Because this game is hard enough as it is. In this part, or this session, or I guess you could say, my goal at the very least is to reach Ryugu Castle, which is the second castle. Because that's not necessarily beat it, just reach it. Because that's, at least in my experiences, that seems to be like the, when the game starts getting really hard. Like, I can get through the first world, with some trouble, but very little. I mean, like I said, this is a fairly hard game. It is not... I'm sorry if I'm clipping the mic here. I'm using my headset mic again. I found that I actually, with the setup I have here, it's a lot more convenient than setting up the Meteor mic. As much as I like the Meteor mic, it's bound to pick up the sound from the TV. And I don't know if... I do apologize if you do hear sound from the TV anyway coming through the headset mic, but I actually kind of liked the quality of the headset mic when I was playing Quake, so I'm just going to stick with that for the time being. I still need to, reorganize my cables on my PC, which is one of the things that I wanted to do before I started streaming. Never got around to it, but I still want to do that for this. Because I got so many things plugged into it. I've got like a dongle for the headset mic, because I mean, honestly, I could probably just do it through Bluetooth and save a USB port, but I'm not hearing any sound coming out of the computer. The sound... You can still hear the game audio, and I did confirm the game audio is still coming through the capture card, but I can't hear it coming out into the headphones. I just hear it coming off of the TV. And but I got my webcam plugged in. I got my my light plugged in, and my keyboard and mouse are also in the USB hub, and they really don't need to be. I just want to kind of put them, you know, find spots for them in the actual tower, because they're not just kind of like they're not just accessories that I want to, you know, put in temporarily. They're kind of things that just need to be there permanently. In all fairness, my old computer, or the computer I used before this, I know I just digress from like another topic altogether, but whatever. The computer I was using before this one had when I first started using it, it had a wireless keyboard and mouse that shared a small dongle that was plugged into the back. But I didn't have enough USB ports once I started using wired mouse and wired keyboard, so that's why I got the the USB hub. But just like a cursory glance at the back of the tower, and there's more than enough USB ports in this thing to go around. I mean, I'm not responsible for building this. That's my friend. That's my friend Tim. This was actually one of his older computers, and he sold it to me because he got me Star Citizen for Christmas last year, and it really saved me some money because I knew that I was going to have to get another computer or a newer computer to play Star Citizen. And I just, you know, thinking of Star Citizen just in the context of the YouTube channel. It's always been like when Squeeze the World, the podcast, was a thing, and we would always joke that Star Citizen still hasn't come out yet. I mean, technically it still hasn't, but like, it's actually not bad for what they have now for the alpha. I mean, I don't play it often, but like I do play it with my brother every so often, and it's pretty fun. It's not something that I would, you know, really get into or anything like that. I'm not a big, huge fan of MMOs, but playing with my brother, it's fine. Got no problems with it. It's just kind of a thing. It's in alpha, so don't look directly at the bugs. You know, it's still in development. It's like when people were it reminds me of when people were complaining about when like Star Wars Battlefront, like the newer Star Wars Battlefront, they had the beta out, and people were complaining about all the bugs in it. And it's like, yeah, it's a beta. You're playing the beta so you can tell us what the bugs are. But people just think it's just like an early access game, and this is how it's going to be. Because gamers don't think. I do kind of want the armor. Right, these are like fairies, I forgot. So I do want one of those. Then I'll rest in the inn and then head on to... Should I go to the gold mine or should I go to Ringbell Pass? I mean, I'm going to be doing both anyway, so I'll go to whichever way is left first and then take the other path. I'm fairly sure I need more than 3 passes to get to the castle anyway, but you know, we'll see how many we need when we get there, and then we'll start doing side quests. Because as far as I remember, the side quests in Edo Town aren't too terrible. There's kind of one that we can get for free. I should have actually. I probably should have gone to get that one. It's just like talk to the lizard dude in the well, and he'll just give you one. Fairly sure I want to go to the tea house. Is this the tea house? Yep, because we only get Sasuke. I don't think Sasuke is super important yet. I do know that we're going to be using him for swimming, but we'll also have Yae at that point. Anyway. I don't know if these cutscenes were supposed to have voice acting in them that got cut as well. I know that they still had the voice acting in the opening cutscene. But they may have cut it out of these cutscenes. I don't know. I remember seeing speedruns and playthroughs of the Japanese version of the other N64 game, and the opening and ending cutscenes have voice acting in them. And they took the voice acting out of the international release. And in this one, they just they kept the voice acting, at least in the opening cutscene in this game. But I guess as kind of a trade-off, they got rid of the opening cutscene, the opening movie for when you start the game up, as well as the impact startup sequence with the Ichiro Mizuki music. And I've seen the intro for this game, and it's a different song, but it's still Hironobu Kageyama, which is nice. Also, rest in peace, Ichiro Mizuki. He passed away, I think, a couple years ago. He's passed away since the last time I played a Goemon game on here. Yeah, I think he did pass away after I played Mystical Ninja last. Kind of getting used to this D-pad. I'm using a one of these guys as my controller now, and it's just kind of getting used to the D-pad, because I usually use the D-pad for these kind of games. I can use the control stick as well, but or the analog stick. The analog stick on this is kind of iffy. Like going left and right, it's fine, but like if you push up all the way on it, like the furthest limit of pushing up on it actually like ends right before the oh, I don't have the chain pipe. Oh, you know what? There's other stuff I have to do in Edo Town to get the chain pipe. I have to buy it from was their name Kosuke? Or Kotaro? Yeah, it's in Goemon's row home, and they play up a cross-dresser for laughs because it was the style of the time. Yep, Goemon. Yep, there they are. 4. Yeah, 100. Oh, Kensuke and Kenzo. Alright. So now that we got that, I'll go ahead and save the game again. Did I save the game the first time? I don't know. I probably should anyway, because I just got this. I can't use it in town, but I'm going to need that to get through the star blocks. Alright, just go to this guy, talk to the journal. There we go. Yeah, I don't think I did this before. And we can swith to the rumble pack now if we have one, but I need AAA batteries, and I don't have any handy for my rumble pack, so I'm just sticking with the controller pack that I have. This is not really a controller pack; it's like a modern-day third-party one It holds about the same amount, but like it's based off flash memory and not battery memory. Because I do have an older memory card, but when I was using it a couple of years ago, I realized that that's when the battery ran out. So I had to get a new memory card, and this was my solution. I've noticed that a lot of battery-backed stuff is just now failing for me. One of the things that I've been doing, you know, when I'm not working on my games backlog or anything like that, I have this this on-again, off-again project which is currently on hold, where I'm trying to, I say trying to, it's not really that hard, but like the goal is to basically take every Pokemon game that I physically own and 100% it best I can. And I've done red version already, and then when I started doing yellow version, it was fine, and then the battery ran out, like, in the middle of my playthrough. The red version seems to still work, as does my brother's blue version, which I'm using as kind of a supplement to get the Pokemon that are only available through blue, but yeah, the yellow version stopped working, and I have replacement batteries. I just haven't gotten around to replacing the batteries in yellow or gold or my friend's crystal version, which I'm using as a supplement. And I'm fairly sure that the GBA game should be fine. They have batteries in them, but like, I've been under the impression that they're more based on flash memory than anything else. And that the batteries, I mean, they're going to go out anyway eventually, and they use different batteries than the ones that I own, or the ones that I got. Dude, leave me alone. I don't have time for your ass. But considering the newer technology, I don't have any worries about like my Sapphire or Leaf Green or Emerald running out. And then the only other games that I have physically are Heart Gold and Violet right now. And Violet I've been working on. I'm nearly done with the things that I want to do with that. I've been, doing the DLCs as they came out and all that too, and I kind of wish I hadn't. I have mixed feelings about Pokemon Violet. For the most part, like, I have fun on a basic level with it. I actually enjoyed like the whole running around and collecting Pokemon aspect of it, but like everything else, I mean, like the battling is okay too. It's just they've made a lot of choice because they've made choices with it. Because the last time I played a Pokemon game before Violet, I mean, I played Legends Arceus, and that was just different enough because of how it is anyway. But like the last traditional Pokemon game that I played was Ultra Sun. Like, I didn't play Sword and Shield. But they've made some decisions when it comes to the battle system that I don't 100% agree with. But it's fine, it's whatever. The rest of the game is bad. The presentation sucks. I hate the story. I hate all of the characters except Larry, I think, is the only character I like because everyone likes Larry. But, and that's not the reason I like Larry. It's because everyone else does. Larry is just like the only likable character. And of course, other people may have different opinions on it, but all the characters are annoying, and I hate them. And for a game that was marketed toward being like the first fully free roam Pokemon adventure where you can just, and even like at the very beginning of the game, it's like, you can just you're at the Pokemon school, which is kind of a stupid thing in my opinion anyway, but like I mean, whatever. It's a game that's marketed toward kids. So, it makes sense. I mean, I think that the whole school thing is, you know, kind of a... It's not that it goes against everything is why I don't like it, it's just a dumb concept. And I can't get into it. But, like, even the school thing was saying, like, your curriculum is that you could just go around and do whatever the fuck you want. But then the story butts in every 5 minutes, because there are 3 other characters trying to live vicariously through you, and you're basically forced to do what they want you to do. And I hate that. Like, one character is basically Xenos from Final Fantasy XIV, who was a cool villain at first, but then outstayed his welcome. And this character is basically Xenos from, like, the latest expansion, who I hate. One character is just, I have parental issues. I mean, he does have the redeeming quality of he's trying to help out his dog. But that shouldn't be my concern. Like, when my character was introducing themselves to the class, I made the selection of, I want to complete the Pokédex as my goal. And then the Xenos girl was like, why didn't you pick that you wanted to battle everyone and become champion? Because, quite frankly, that's one of the more overrated aspects of Pokemon, in my opinion. And I seriously just like the collecting aspect of Pokemon these days. I mean, I'm certainly not going to buy another Pokemon, or main series Pokemon game, unless it's like a Gen 2 remake or something, but, the only reason I bought this one was because I had a plan to, you know, collect Pokemon from all the people I knew who were going to be playing it, and then just, like, that mostly didn't happen. Like, I got some, but, like, most of the other people I knew who were playing, I just never got around to asking them, hey, you want to, you know, trade me a Pokemon for my friend's collection? That's the only reason I got the game, and that was kind of a failure on that front, but, like, the rest of the game was fine. How do I switch weapons again? I don't need to. I already have a... The L button is my alt fire, and also I can just do this, so... I don't even need to spend money to shoot projectiles. Okay, this is going to be tricky, because I have 1 hit left. Am I at the end? I'm at the end, okay. Alright, so I got 3 passes. How many do I need to get into the castle? I don't know. They'll tell me at the gate. Is it like 5 or something? Okay, you need 5. Well, I know where to get one while it's still nighttime. And that's from the aforementioned lizard guy in the well. I'm fairly sure he just gives it to you. But, we will confirm that shortly here. This has to be nighttime. Yeah, he just gives it to you. Okay. And there's one where I could get DJ equipment from Lost and Road. And there's one where I can get... I have to clear out, like, 7 specific enemies. I think I'm going to go for the DJ equipment one. Because I think I remember where all 3 things are. I mean, you're on a time limit, but that's okay. I'm not gonna bother buying armor or onigiri until I go to the castle. I'm still gonna sleep though. I think one of them is doing karaoke, and I think it's Sasuke is doing karaoke in this scene, if you're playing as Sasuke. Alright, now I need to save. I never disconnected my controller pack, so I'm all good. I'm hoping I can at least get to Ryugu Castle. If only because I want to hear the Frog Mountain theme, because the Frog Mountain theme is like the best song in the game. It's like one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best, like video game songs ever. Was he in here? Nope. Up here? Nope. Whoa. That's odd. My system reset itself. The N64 did. That's a little concerning. Good thing I just saved. Now see, here's the thing with the N64 here. My N64 doesn't work properly anymore. This is my brother's N64. My N64, the AV port died. And this is very concerning. I don't know why this is resetting itself. Hold on. I'm turning it off. Okay, the bars are good. That's from the RetroTink. So, my N64 doesn't work anymore because the AV port died. I was able to find my brother's N64 somewhere in the apartment by some miracle, and it worked fine, which is why I'm using it to play, because he doesn't care. He let me use it. And now it started doing these shenanigans here. This is new. It just like turned itself off while remaining on. And I don't know if it's like, is there an issue with the power cord or something? I don't know. I'm letting it sit for a bit. Nothing seems to be overheating or anything. The jumper pack is fine. I don't have the expansion pack in there, but I don't know. But if this keeps up, I'm gonna have to find another Goemon game to play. Not that that's hard. I have some Super Famicom Goemon games loaded onto my FX pack for my Super Nintendo that I can play. So I'm covered there. It's just this doesn't bode well for the fact that I have a few N64 games that I want to play through or 100% on my backlog. This is actually one of them. This is one of the ones that's on my backlog. Um, and if the N64 doesn't work, I can't play the games. I got this. I got Space Station Silicon Valley. I want a 100% Castlevania Legacy of Darkness. I want to have 100% on my Super Mario 64 cart. I don't know. I'm going to give this another shot here. And if it doesn't again, I'll go ahead and switch gears to the Super Nintendo. I'll keep this in. I'll keep this in. I'll still keep this as part of the video. Just to show that I made an attempt. I'm switching it on now. Okay, there's the Konami logo. It came up on the capture before it came up on the TV. I mean, which it makes sense because, you know, the TV is going through a pass-through. Okay. Are you gonna be okay, N64? Because that's some weird shit you're pulling, and I don't like it. Alright, let's just keep going for now. And if it happens again, I'll swap over to my backup plan. It'll all work out. I'll still have Goemon content. Sweet, sweet content for the month. And, it's gonna be okay either way. You'll just have like a half hour or so of Goemon's Great Adventure at the beginning. It's gonna be okay. Where is the DJ guy? That's who I need to talk to for this. No, he's not in here. Actually, can I pass through here? Yes. Okay, that just goes back here. Is he back here? There he is. Hey, bud. Okay, he needs his LP, he needs his headphones, and he needs his mic. I've got a time limit. And, if I die, I still lose a life. But if I fail the time limit, I don't think I lose a life. I hope I don't lose a life. I know one of them is up here. And the other two are just kind of along the main path. And yes, there is a DJ with modern day, or at least, not, I wouldn't say modern day, but like contemporary DJ equipment. Because we don't ask questions with this series. Yeah. So I did lose a life there. That sucks. I'm glad I'm not doing all of the, what do you call them? I'm glad I'm not doing all the side quests as they come up, because there's especially one in the second world where you have to do a race with, like, Obisumaru is his name, but, like, Ibisumaru's, like, evil twin or whatever, and, who I think actually shows up in one of the SNES games as well. I think he shows up in the fourth one. It's like Kira Kira Dochu or something like that. But you have to race him. And that is easier said than done, to say the fucking least. Alright, great. I have a cat, but I'd rather have health. Okay. Oh well, if we get a game over, we can see the dancing demons. We'll be seeing a lot more of them in the later stages and whatnot, but I'm sure we'll see them here before too long. They're probably going to be the most viewed screen on this game, because, like I said, this game, I mean, it starts off pretty challenging and then gets, like, uber hard. But my hope is that through, you know, just playing the game and keeping at it, I'll get good enough to do the thing and beat the game. Because when I was younger, I had lots of games that I never cleared because I wasn't good at video games. I still am not really that great at them, to be fair. But these days I see myself as having more patience. And oh, I can just go right back into the quest. That at least saves some time if I get a game over. And sure, I'll still get frustrated here and there. I mean, like with my my Quake playthrough, there were times where I got frustrated because, you know, I did not think that the level layout or the enemy distribution was very good, and it led to me being put into stupid situations that could have been avoided if the designer of said map wasn't trying too hard. But you know, I still stuck with it. I got through it, and that was the first time I beat the game on normal mode. So, hoping that the same sort of thing will happen here, where I could just, like, you know, through just playing the game and getting good at it with practice. I mean, sure, that's the way the game should be played anyway, but I don't know, for me, it just never... It never really happened a lot because... Oh, I think I was supposed to go up here. I think I need the pony. Can I get the horse back? That looks like a no. I cannot get the horse back. Alright, that might be bad. Because Goemon can double jump, but, like, I think I need to get up there to get, like, the mic. Because the LP is on somebody's head. It's on, like, a giant, like, clay doll. Oh! Crisis averted. Mostly. I can use that to get up onto the ledge. So, we should be good. Hopefully we can get this done. This is the last pass that I need to get in before I get into the castle, so from there I can clear the stage, or the world rather, and then go on to the Turtle Island, whatever it's. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's like Ryugu Island, just like kind of like how there's Ryugu Castle, but it's like the island on the back of the turtle. Who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky enough and we'll get to the Tom York level. I was thinking to myself, maybe I should do like all the funny, like, tactical. I mean, not funny, I guess is subjective, but like how on my previous attempt when I was playing with Greg, how I had all these titles like, you know, tactical something something action, But then I remembered, oh wait, I don't do silly titles anymore, because it's a pain in the ass enough to come up with a description for the video. Because I don't get crazy with the descriptions. I just like put a sentence or two about the video and there you go. I'm not gonna link to all my socials that don't exist, you know? The closest thing I have to social media is my private Discord server. And other than that, nothing. I don't use Facebook, I don't use Twitter, I don't use Instagram, I don't use any of that shit. Because I don't need it, and if I did use it, I mean, I used Facebook for a long time, but I stopped because it ended up being just like a garbage fire. Also, when I left, it was like right before the 2016 presidential election was done. So that should sum it up right there. I'm not a very political person, and because of the style at the time, you know, people just wanna. They have their own socio-political opinion, and they just you're put into two sides, and your entire purpose in life now is just to yell at each other. And you know, if you don't agree with me, then you're a terrible person. I mean, that's how the arguments normally go. Not, I don't think you're a terrible person if you don't agree with me personally. If you don't agree with me, then that's, you don't agree with me, and then we can just change the topic and move on. Some people don't want to do that. Yep, there's the mic. And, you know, it's just, it's a very depressing thing, and, you know, especially considering that the U.S. is about to go into another presidential election year in a couple of days. Oh boy. I am not looking forward to this. Because it just gets worse every single time. I mean, hey, if you have your opinions, then you have your opinions, but that's all I'm going to say about that. And the N64 crashed again. Okay, I don't think this is going to happen, so give me 2 seconds, and I'm going to go ahead and plug in my Super NT, and let's play a different Goemon game, shall we? Okay, just a moment. All right, sorry about that. We're back now with the backup game. I'm still going to leave all the Goemon's Great Adventure stuff in there, but we're going to now be playing Ganbare Goemon, the Clockwork Leghold of Jirokube Shishi. I know it says differently on the translation here, but I think that Clockwork is a more I think whenever I hear Karakuri, I think Clockwork more than Mecha, and I just say Ganbare Goemon because that's what I'm used to calling it. That's the game I beat before. So let's start with Journal 2. So this is a completely different game. It's on the Super Nintendo. So this is essentially where the character of Bismaru and such come from. So the old wise man wants to go to the future to pick up chicks, as he often does, because he's a pervert. And that's the joke. Now, the thing with this game is that, unlike the games that came before it, which were primarily like side-scrollers like Goemon's Great Adventure, is this is more of a top-down... Well, it does have side-scrolling segments. It's mostly a top-down action-adventure style game. And it's been a couple of years since I played it, but I remember liking this a lot, so... this should be something that we'll be able to at least beat within the month. It's not as hard as it's not nearly as hard as Goemon's Great Adventure is. I like how they see Bismaru on the TV looking into the future. And they say, it looks like Ibisumaru, and Ibisumaru's like, no, I don't look anything like that, not that ugly. Even though she obviously is his descendant and looks exactly like him. And we don't see Jirukube Shishi until like nearest to the end, if I remember correctly. So gotta go to Iga to meet with Sasuke. And while you do get to play as all 4 characters, I think this was also the first game. Do you get to play as Yae? I think you get to play as Yae. I do know that the previous game, Ganbare Goemon 2, The Strange General McGinnis, was the first game where you could play as Sasuke. And this is the first game where you can play as Yae, I think. And Omitsu wants a souvenir from the future. So it's, you know, kind of like a... I see this as kind of like a prototype of Mystical Ninja on the N64. Like, you go around, you talk to people. B is talk to people. And, unlike the other Super NES games before this one, it's like the towns were still like side-scrolling areas, and like you would still have people attacking you. That doesn't happen here. Like when you're in the town areas, they don't bother you. I'm sure, why not? I think they fortune tellers tell you where to go. Horohoro Temple is actually the first like action area in the first Super Nintendo game, Legend of the Mystical Ninja, which is like I said before, was the one that came out over here. But we have to have an inner tube so that we can actually swim. I think I can get the I get the rice ball as well. I do have enough for him. Okay, that's good. Just enough. And you can swap between your characters. What's the swap button? Is it select? Yes, it is. So I can be Ebisumaru and I can be Goemon. This is a 2-player game, so you can have one person playing as one and one person playing as the other. But very soon we'll have the ability to basically have, you know, both either player play whoever they want, regardless of who's out. So both people could be Goemon if they want, for example. I should be looking into the camera, but instead I keep looking into the light. Yeah, how do you swap over to throwing items? R button. Okay. Hold on. The Y button, let go. So you can charge them with the Y button. And Y is just a standard attack as well. So I don't have any alternate weapons, I don't think. Also, Ebisumaru's is a... his weapon seems to change from game to game. Because, like, I've never played a game where Goemon's weapon wasn't a pipe. But, like, Ebisumaru has a hula hoop in this. And in, like, in other games, he has, like, yo-yos and paddles and stuff. Oh, start button leads to a sub-screen. Like I said, it's been a couple of years since I've played, so... Yeah, and the sub-screen is pretty much exactly... Not exactly like, the N64 game, but pretty damn close. And as I mentioned before, I am playing on hardware. I have, well, at least as close to hardware as I can get without having an actual Super Nintendo. I have an analog Super NT. I'm gonna move the camera so you can see. But like, can I even? But yeah, there's the Super NT, and I have a flash cart. So that's how I'm playing the game. And I will be using that pretty much for like every speed game that I plan on doing, because I do still plan on doing speed runs. I know I mentioned it early in the video, but Astro Rabby for the Game Boy is going to be. It's not my first speed game. I technically, if you've seen some of my past Twitch VODs, you'll know that I am a world record holder. For Home Alone on the NES. I keep looking over at my hi other monitor. Hi me on the other monitor. That's why I keep looking over here, because I'm making sure that I'm in frame and everything, because I just kind of put the camera back haphazardly. Yeah, I don't think you're... let's say Mount Hagore. Watch out for bandits. Well, they seem to be dressed like Tanuki, so they're easy to spot. But yeah, my first speed game was technically Home Alone for the NES, and I hold a world record for Home Alone on the NES, along with over 100 other people, because it's a game that's on a timer, and you have to let the timer run out to finish it. So essentially, if you let the timer run out, if you can make it all the way to let the timer run out and not pause the game, you get world record. So that was my first speed game, is I learned how to do a glitch that makes it so that the bandits can't come after you at all. And then I just like chilled out and like messed around with models for like the rest of the stream, or not the rest of the stream. I think I did other stuff after I was done with the game, but it's like a 20-minute thing, and like if you just make it to the end, you win, and if you don't pause, you get the record. So that was my first speed game. But my first real speed game is going to be Astro Rabby on the Game Boy, which is a game that I saw on. It first came to my attention when I watched. I'm just kind of wandering around randomly. It first came to my attention when I watched, when I saw an episode about it on Jeremy Parish's VideoWorks series. I think I might have mentioned VideoWorks before. I might have mentioned Astro Rabby before, but just in case, if you have not seen or are not aware of the VideoWorks series, I definitely recommend checking it out. It's very interesting stuff. I'm gonna save my game in here, right? Yep. Now's the jackpot in. Yeah, I can just go to the journal. Okay. I don't need anything else right now. But I played the game. I think I put a ROM of it on my EverDrive on my Game Boy Advance, and I played it, and it was really fun. And oh no, I just did this. You already told me where to go. And again, my buddy Janglestorm, I was in his stream, and I had enough channel points to basically do a game request. So I picked Astro Rabby, and he played it, and then he realized, oh hey, there's no speed runs for this. I'm gonna do a speed. I'm gonna speed run this. So he speedran it, and he made a page for it on speedrun.com, and he's the moderator for the page, and he's the only one that has a time up on there because he's the only one who's run it. Well, February, I will be speedrunning Astro Rabby. I have a cartridge of it now. I have a Super Game Boy 2. I have a Super Game Boy 1 as well, but I did get a Super Game Boy 2 recently, which is the only real way outside of a Game Boy player that you're allowed to, on many games, to do speedruns of Game Boy games. The ghost lady there was the first boss of the first game on the Super Nintendo. That's Kurobe the cat. The ninja cat, I'm sorry. There's a teleporter. We're the ones that asked you to do that, weren't we? Alright, I think he gives us the ability to... Oh, they even have the canned laughter from the N64 game. Yeah, it'll transform into your allies, so... Ibisumaru, stop. And basically, yeah, 2 players can use the same character if they want now. Get money out of this? Yes. That's good. So apparently with the Super Game Boy 1, or the Super Game Boy that we got over here, there's like a glitch or something wrong with the crystal that keeps the timing in there. And for some reason, because of that, games run like slightly faster than they're supposed to. And there are ways that you like tools and things that you can use to convert your time over. I know Astro Rabby Jangles allowed that, but the Super Game Boy 2 actually fixed that. So I got a Super Game Boy 2 because I really wanted one anyway. It'll allow me to do when I get around to playing Pokemon, and I'll probably be playing it on the Super Game Boy. I can just use that because it has a link port on it too, so I can just use that to trade Pokemon and not have to. If I'm streaming for friends on Discord or something like that, I can just like do that and not have to set up my GameCube with the Game Boy player, only to tear it down again and put the Super Game Boy back up. But that's going to help because I also plan on speedrunning Final Fantasy Adventure at one point. In fact, all of the games that I'm planning on speedrunning are going to be played on the Super Nintendo because the other 3 games are Super Famicom or Super Nintendo games. Final Fantasy Mystic Quest is one. I know that I've talked about speedrunning that for a long time. And I recently did a playthrough just on my cartridge to set up a save file for it. And because you need the clear save file to set up a glitch. And the other 2 are the Sufami Turbo Car Ranger game, which I know that friend of the channel, Bedwell Blackburn, is pretty excited that I'm going to be playing that because he owns, I think he has all of the world records for that game currently. But the other game is Super Castlevania 4. And I've gotten... oh, can I just do this? Yes. Relearning the game. But yeah, I have carts for all of them. And I'll just be playing them on this this here Super NT, and it's going to be fun. And I'm going to be... I've been planning the Astro Rabuary theme month for a long time. It was going to be a streaming thing. I'm going to now just kind of got to figure out a format that'll work on YouTube for like weekly uploads. Since I can edit out a lot of stuff, it's just, you know, a question of how much am I going to edit out and whatnot. But yeah, this is actually where the cat figurines start acting like pieces of heart. Again, like in the N64 game. Because normally they just give you a... what do you call it? A temporary weapon upgrade. I think I want to go over here. Oh, it's not going through. Okay. Like, I can't just go through. Oh, I gotta charge up. I gotta charge up my coin throw. Okay. All right, that works out. But yeah, like the dungeons or castles or whatever like this, they're all side-scrolling, so it's kind of like Zelda 2 in that aspect, which isn't the best kind of comparison I like to make, because I don't like Zelda 2, but I mean, that's just because I'm bad at Zelda 2 and I don't enjoy playing it. Like, the format of sometimes it's side-scrolling has something to do with that. Oh, I can't get that, can I? Maybe Smart doesn't have, like, a double jump or anything, does he? No. Alright, well, I guess I'm not getting that. Oh, wait, maybe I am. Had to get up there anyway to turn off this thing over here. Thankfully, that money didn't go away. That would have sucked. Alright, alright, cool. I just need to rotate this around. But yes, that's what I'm doing for February. Is my first plan is to play through the game, because I've played through the game before. It's kind of like Goemon's Great Adventure. I played through the game, but I used, you know, not 100% by the book methods to do so. Like Goemon's Great Adventure, I used the Game Shark. With Astro Rabbids, I use save states because the Game Boy emulator that I used to play Game Boy games on my Game Boy Advance EverDrive allow for save states. So my initial goal is to make sure that I can actually play through the game without save states first on cart. That's the easiest way to do it. And then from there, I'll start plotting out and doing runs. I don't have a goal in mind at the moment. I know that if I ever, at any point, like, get world record just by happenstance, then I'll stop. But I think Jangle's best time right now is like 18 minutes something. I haven't checked in a while, but considering that his first playthrough of the game was like a half hour, it might be a bit before I can get a time like that. And I'm not necessarily going for a world record with the speedrunning. It's just it's just for fun, you know? If I think that I can do better, then, I'll try to do better, but I'm not necessarily aiming to be like a world record player or anything like that, because I don't want to push myself too hard on what is, ostensibly a hobby. And if I'm too much of a tryhard at a hobby, then it stops being fun. I've seen people who speedrun games that they absolutely love, and then they just like end up hating them by the end. I remember a few years ago, I don't know how they'll feel about me bringing it up, but I say friend of the channel, but one of my streamer friends, Ice Blue, I remember when they got not world record, but like they were doing Zelda 1, and they got, like, I think the goal that they were trying for was like sub 20. It's either 27 or 26 is the big one. I think it's sub 27. And it frustrated them to no end. Because I don't mean to laugh at their expense, but like it's just, it got hard to watch sometimes because they got so frustrated, and you could tell that they were starting to hate the game. That's girls for life. Okay. I mean, I like girls too, but I should rephrase that. I like women. I know when they say girls here, they mean, you know, just females in general, but I'm into women. That's my thing. Either way, yeah, I just don't want to get to a point where, like, I get so frustrated with a game that I absolutely hate it, because all of the games that I'm playing are games that I do legitimately very much enjoy. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, no! It took out too much of the platform. Maybe it'll respawn. Please? Don't you have, like, a floaty jump or something? No? Please? Alright, well, it's respawned now. That was unfortunate. But yeah, all the games that I've chosen are ones that, like, I consider to be among my favorites, and I don't want that to be ruined, essentially. I mean, the runs look fine. The runs are fun and all that. I just gotta get some training. Hopefully I can get some, like, you know, tutelage on some of the runs. Dang it! It happened again. Okay, I just needed to be in the right position. Oh dear. Alright. I guess I hit it when its mouth is open. Again, it's been years, literally, since I played this. Oh no, I have to lift the little Sasuke on his head? I know it's not really Sasuke. Sasuke is currently with... No, he's not. No, that is Sasuke. I got confused with Goemon's Great Adventure. No, that is Sasuke. He's just in super defense mode because they weren't expecting me to stop by the old wise man's house. So he and the other robots are in super defense mode for the house, or the lab, or whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna swap over to... Will that help? No? What was I hitting before? Oh, I do have to hit him in the mouth. Or not? Huh? What is happening? What? Do I just need to hit him in... I mean... It seems very inconsistent, but... I need to duck that. I felt like I've hit, like, the weak spot, like, multiple times, but, like... Sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Oh. I just lost a lot of progress. Okay. That's fine. It was not fine. Alright. It's not like it really had much of a save point anyway. Like a checkpoint. I mean, there was a checkpoint in the castle. there was a checkpoint in the castle, and I did get it. But obviously the checkpoint's not going to account for something like... what is it? Game overs. I should check around a little bit more. See if I can grind up some money. Because if there's a place around here that can... Oh, I can... That's how you can see the alternate colors. Is if you hold Y and press select. But if you're playing with two players, that's what the other player will be if they're the same character as you. I'm looking to see if there maybe might be an armor shop, because I know that there's an armor system similar to Mystical Ninja. And so I can get like armor that'll protect me against, you know, such and such number of hits or such and such number of projectiles. Okay, he's under torture. That's great. I've heard stories about this fan translation. There are some iffy bits that thankfully aren't present in this iteration of the fan translation, but there are some bits that people would frown upon these days. I don't even know if I'm gonna, you know, go out of my way to point it out, but it is a thing. Alright, he's not selling anything. This is a restaurant. I don't need healing. Things are actually dropping health pickups, so I don't have to worry too much about that. Oh, I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't mean to hurt you. Are we cool? It was an accident, man. Are we cool? Alright. Guess let's just head back into the teleporter that's evidently in Impact's mouth. Don't know why. But again, we don't ask questions with this series. It's just how things are. So I don't think that there's actually like an armor shop or anything. So we're as prepared as we can be going in. I don't even know where all the silver cats are in this, so I'm not going to bother going for 100%. Sorry for the flashing. I keep forgetting that that's a thing in this. Now, I should have put something down on the in that blank box there where my tracker normally goes on the layout. I know I'm not streaming now, but I still like the layout, and I'm still going to use it. I spent literally minutes making this layout in MS Paint, so I'm going to use it, damn it. Why does Impact... I don't know why Impact has a teleporter in his mouth. And I don't remember crashing him into the ground here in the last game. I've played the last game, too. The only Super Nintendo one I haven't played so far is the fourth one. But even then, I've seen a playthrough of it. I still want to get around to playing it at some point, but I'm not prioritizing games I don't physically own. And I don't physically own this game, but we'll make do with a fan translation. It's fine. Actually, I did find out fairly recent-ish that there's a a Game Boy Advance port that has the first two SNES Goemons on there. And I'm kind of curious about that, because I'm always intrigued by, like, when we get ports of older games onto portable consoles that, I don't know, don't 100% go one-to-one with the older console. Like, Link to the Past, for example. We have that, that remake of A Link to the Past on the Game Boy Advance. No matter how much people want to deny it for some reason. I had no problems with that port. I don't remember any... I know that some people saying that there were performance issues with it. I don't know what they're talking about. But I haven't played it in a while, so it's whatever. But even though I've heard that it's not great, I do kind of want to, you know, see what the like the Game Boy Advance port of Ganbare Goemon 1 and 2 is like. See what kind of concessions that they made or whatever. I mean, I've also played Mother 1 and 2 on at least a little bit of Mother 2 on the Game Boy Advance. A tiny bit. And it seems fine for what it is. I mean, yes, concessions are made because the Game Boy Advance wasn't quite as powerful, to my recollection anyway, as the Super Nintendo. Maybe it was around the same, but there were like still some things here and there that weren't quite as good. But hell, if I had that at the time, like if the Game Boy Advance was like my only portable system, and I'm big into portable systems, mind you, I would have been over the moon to have a port of you know, Earthbound on my Game Boy Advance. You know, it's playable. It's the whole game. I am okay with this. And hey, Earthbound Beginnings is on there too, for what that's worth. Or Mother 1, if you want to call it that. I don't have anything against Earthbound Beginnings, which is what I call it because that's its official title over here these days. It's not as good, I don't think. I played Earthbound. Actually, let me word it this way. I played Earthbound before I played Beginnings, but I beat Beginnings before I played all the way through Earthbound. And for what it is, Beginnings isn't bad, but a lot of the time I was playing it, I was like, I'd rather play Earthbound right now. I'd rather be playing Earthbound. But if I had Mother 1 and 2 on the Game Boy Advance at around that time, I would have been happy with that. I mean, again, I would have to be in a position where I could like read what's going on. I mean, I have access to the fan translation, and even then, the fan translation for the Mother 2 section of it is just a copy paste of the official localization for Earthbound. And it's just for Mother 1 or whatever, they just decided to revert a whole lot of the localization changes. Because some people, when they come up with fan translations of these, it's usually like super purists who want everything to be like exactly like it was, just in English. And from what I understand, there are like even like fan translations of games. I mean, I guess the aforementioned Mother 1 thing is all right. I have access to a map. Not that it really matters that much, but not that it matters that much. I mean, this is pretty straightforward, so I don't really need it, but yeah, I like that the Game Boy Advance version of Mother 1 and 2 does technically have a fan translation for Mother 1, despite the fact that Mother 1 pretty much always had an official localization. It was just never released until like 2012. At least it wasn't officially released until 2012. And even when the prototype was found and leaked online, they called it Earthbound 0, but they still used the same localization. Well, I mean, the person who did the fan translation for Mother 1 on the Game Boy Advance decided to revert a bunch of things back, like names of cities and things, for the more authentic experience, I suppose. And that's fair. But it's like, I see this a lot with games that have official localizations and were already officially released over here before the fan translation was a thing. Like, at one point, not in the not super recent future, but in the recent-ish future, a few years back, it'd been brought to my attention. Not that it really mattered much to me. I hadn't played Final Fantasy VI at the time, but there was a fan retranslation of Final Fantasy VI. Now, of course, by the point that where fan translations of Super Nintendo games were coming out, Final Fantasy VI had long been released over here as Final Fantasy III. That was already a thing. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Ted Woolsey's translations myself, but it was a thing. And someone else decided that it wasn't good enough, and they decided to take it upon themselves to retranslate Final Fantasy VI again. And there were some, like, I haven't seen the entirety of the fan translation or anything like that, just like screenshots here and there, but like, I think it was on a feature on Legends of Localization, Clyde Mandelin's website. Because he has a program of sorts that, as you're playing through a game, typically the English version of the game is what he tended to showcase. And I've seen him do a full playthrough on his YouTube channel using this program with Final Fantasy Adventure. As you're playing, it will, any text that's like any dialogue that's on screen or any items that you obtain, they'll show like the Japanese text that's normally there, as well as any other pertinent translations. And there was one time where he did, like, at least for a feature on his website, he did Final Fantasy VI. And I think that the version that he was playing was the Final Fantasy III release. And it also had, or either that or it was the Game Boy Advance version. But the translations that were shown from the program on the side of the screen, one was whichever other official translation there was. So if he was playing the SNES one, then it showed the Game Boy Advance one. If he was playing the Game Boy Advance one, then it showed the SNES one. It also showed the original Japanese text from the game, and it also showed that aforementioned like fan translation. And there were things that like I thought were kind of unnecessary. Like Kefka's name was spelled with C's instead of K's, or something. I'm like, how did you come to the conclusion that that's how Kefka's name is meant to be spelled? Was it just like on a piece of like? Because the official translation, the official spelling of Kefka's name from SquareSoft is with K's. Why would you think that you would know better than SquareSoft, the people who made the game, in regards to how Kefka's name is meant to be spelled? Now, of course, you could bring up the whole Aerith thing. Aerith's name was meant to be spelled with a TH, but in the original English release of 7, her name was spelled with an S. But officially, it's TH. And I guess stuff like that does come up from time to time, but, like, Kefka has never been spelled with C's, to my knowledge. So I'm like, where did you get that information? Did you just, like, happen upon, like, a piece of concept art? I can't pause it here. I need to... Oh, it's people... what is that noise coming? There's people setting off fireworks, because of course. People everywhere set off fireworks for, like... I mean, if you want to do that, then you know, by all means, but, like, it doesn't bother me. It's just, I find it kind of weird how much more frequent fireworks have become. Like, especially since I've been living in what are considered to be southern states most of my life. Like, I live in Florida now. I used to live in Virginia. And, like, it used to be, like, 4th of July was fireworks. But, like, nothing else really. Then, like, other things started getting fireworks, like Memorial Day. Okay, I guess. And then, like, every holiday started getting fireworks. And then, like, the week surrounding the holiday started getting fireworks at one point. I remember when I was living in Virginia, the first year that my roommate had his dog, he was working a lot the week of the 4th of July. And it turns out that the dog, Lucy... How did that not click with me before? I figured it out, by the way. I'm just kind of aiming upward as his mouth was open. Hey, Sasuke. Hey, why are you here? Like, the entire week leading up to the 4th of July, neighbors were setting off fireworks, and it was scaring the dickens out of the dog. So, like, there were days where, like, because my roommate was working constantly at the time, because he was a manager at a local fast food restaurant, and his higher-ups kept screwing him over on hours. And by that I mean, like, overworking him. And he was never home. So there were, lots of points where I would just, like, stay downstairs and keep the dog company. And, like, you know, it's gotten to the point, like it is now, where, you know, people are just setting off fireworks, like, the week before any given holiday. And, I don't know, man. It's like, again, I don't have anything against fireworks personally, but it's a bit much. Also, Sasuke self-destructed? Oh no, he's fine. He's got the fucking Magitech armor. That's right. Once we get to a save point, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I think it's a good stopping point if you get done with a castle. So that seems like a good amount. of gameplay, you know, in between as well. So, especially considering that there was like a 40 minutes of failed Goemon's Great Adventure footage. But hey, the backup plan wasn't bad at all. So, oh, actually, we can save here. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. So I'll go ahead and save the game. And when we come back, I know we haven't been paying too much attention to the story here, but we'll see what crazy antics Goemon and his friends will get up to in the Magitech armor walk over to the next village. So until then, I've been Captain Floofers, and I'll be here next time. Join me, won't you?